Eldoria was once radiant, bathed in the warm glow of Eternus, the magical crystal. Its people thrived, their lives filled with laughter and light. But darkness fell upon Eldoria. The sorcerer of shadows, driven by insatiable hunger for power, stole Eternus. With Eternus gone, a chilling shadow crept across the land. Crops withered, rivers ran dry. The once vibrant colors of Eldoria faded to a dull gray. Hope dwindled with each passing day. The people of Eldoria whispered tales of a prophecy. A chosen one, they said, would rise to challenge the darkness. In a small, forgotten village nestled among the now barren hills lived Lyra, a young girl with a spirit as bright as the sun that no longer graced their skies. Lyra refused to give in to despair. She spent her days training, honing her skills with the sword and bow, her heart whispering of a destiny yet to unfold.
One night, under the ghostly light of a moon veiled in shadow, I had a vision. The oracle tree, ancient and wise, beckoned me. The fate of Eldoria, the vision whispered, rested on my young shoulders.
A surge of determination coursed through Lyra. She would answer the oracle's call. She would reclaim Eternus and restore light to her land. Lyra set out at dawn, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear and determination. The journey to the oracle tree was fraught with peril. Shadowy creatures, born of the encroaching darkness, lurked in the once familiar forests. Lyra fought with courage, her spirit unbroken.
Finally, I stood before the oracle tree. Its leaves, whispering secrets to the wind, glowed with an ethereal light.
To defeat the sorcerer, you must find the silver key. It lies hidden within the whispering caverns, guarded by trials that will test your very essence.
The oracle bestowed upon Lyra an ancient map, its markings shimmering with a faint silver light. The way forward was clear. Lyra took a deep breath and stepped into the unknown. The entrance to the whispering caverns gaped like a maw in the side of the mountain. Eerie whispers carried on the wind sent shivers down Lyra's spine. The air within was thick with the stench of damp earth and something ancient and unknowable. Lyra pressed on, her hand gripping the hilt of her sword.
The caverns were a labyrinth of twisting tunnels and treacherous drops. Each step was a test of courage and resolve.
Lyra faced illusions that played tricks on her mind, whispering doubts and fears. She battled monstrous spiders, their eyes gleaming with malevolent hunger. Through it all, Lyra clung to the oracle's words, her determination fueled by the faint hope that flickered in her heart. Deep within the caverns, Lyra stumbled upon a sight that gave her pause.
A small fox, its fur the color of moonlight, lay trapped beneath a pile of rubble.
Lyra, her heart filled with compassion, carefully moved the stones, freeing the creature.
There you go, little one. You're free now.
The fox, weak but alert, looked at Lyra with intelligent eyes.
It nuzzled her hand as if in gratitude.
Lyra named him Fen, and from that moment on, he became her loyal companion. Fen, Lyra soon discovered, was no ordinary fox.
He possessed a cunning and agility that proved invaluable in navigating the treacherous caverns.
And so their journey together began, bound by trust and mutual respect. Section 6, Facing the Darkness. The Sorcerer's Lair. This is where the true test of courage begins, where shadows whisper secrets and the air is thick with ancient magic. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, Lyra and Fen emerged into a vast cavern. The journey had been long and arduous, filled with perils and trials that tested their resolve at every turn. The air crackled with dark energy, a palpable force that seemed to pulse with a life of its own. It was as if the very essence of the cavern was alive, watching their every move. At the center of the cavern stood a towering fortress of obsidian, its spires disappearing into the shadows above. The fortress loomed ominously, a dark sentinel guarding the secrets within.
This, I know, is the Sorcerer's Lair, the place where all our fears converge and where our destiny will be decided. The silver key, I can sense it now, lies within. It is the key to unlocking the power that can save our world, the key to our salvation.
As Lyra and Fen approached the fortress, the ground trembled beneath their feet. Each step forward was a battle against the fear that threatened to overwhelm them. Shadowy figures, their eyes burning with malevolent fire, rose from the depths. These were the sorcerer's minions, dark creatures born of nightmares, sent to test their courage. The sorcerer's guardians, Lyra realized, sent to bar her path. They were the final obstacle, the last line of defense before the heart of the lair. Lyra drew her sword, its blade glinting in the eerie light. She felt the weight of her mission, the hopes of her people resting on her shoulders.
I will not be deterred. No matter the darkness, no matter the fear, I will press on. The light of Eternus will shine upon Eldoria once more. With this resolve, Lyra stepped forward, ready to face whatever lay ahead, knowing that the fate of her world depended on her courage and determination.
Section 7. The Power of Courage. Reclaiming the Crystal. A fierce battle ensued. The air was thick with the clash of steel and the crackle of magic as warriors from both sides fought with everything they had. The ground trembled under the weight of the conflict, and the sky was alight with bursts of arcane energy. Lyra, her movements swift and sure, fought with the courage of a warrior twice her age. Her glowing sword cut through the darkness, a beacon of hope amidst the chaos. Each swing was precise, each step calculated, as if she had been training for this moment her entire life. Fen, a blur of silver fur, darted between the shadowy figures, his teeth bared in a silent snarl. The fox was more than just a companion. He was a fierce protector, his agility and speed unmatched. Together, they were an unstoppable force, a perfect blend of human and animal prowess. Lyra pressed forward, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear and determination. She would not fail. Every step she took was a step closer to reclaiming the crystal, a step closer to saving her world. The weight of her mission bore down on her, but she stood tall, unwavering, not while the fate of Eldoria hung in the balance. The once vibrant kingdom was now a shadow of its former self, its people living in fear and despair. The crystal was their last hope, the key to restoring peace and prosperity. Finally, Lyra broke through the sorcerer's defenses and found herself face to face with the architect of Eldoria's suffering. The journey had been long and arduous, filled with trials and tribulations, but she had made it. She stood before the sorcerer, her resolve unshaken, the sorcerer of shadows cloaked in darkness, his eyes burning with malevolent power. His presence was suffocating, a dark cloud that threatened to engulf everything in its path. But Lyra stood her ground, her eyes locked onto his, her grip on her sword tightening.
"You cannot defeat me, child. The crystal is mine." His voice was a low growl, filled with arrogance and disdain. He believed himself invincible, untouchable.
But Lyra refused to be cowed. She had come too far, fought too hard to back down now. Her eyes blazed with determination, her spirit unbroken. She knew that the power of the crystal was not just in its magic, but in the courage it inspired. With a surge of courage, she lunged, her sword aimed at the sorcerer's heart. Time seemed to slow as she moved, every second stretching into an eternity. She could feel the weight of her ancestors behind her, their strength flowing through her veins. A blinding flash of light. The cavern was illuminated in an instant, the darkness pushed back by the sheer force of her attack. It was as if the very essence of the crystal had been unleashed, a beacon of hope and power, a scream that echoed through the cavern. And then silence. The battle was over, but the journey was far from complete. Lyra knew that this was just the beginning, that there were still challenges ahead. But for now she had reclaimed the crystal, and with it a glimmer of hope for Eldoria. Section 8. Dawn breaks over Eldoria, a land restored. Lyra emerged from the whispering caverns, the crystal of Eternus held aloft. As she placed it back on the ancient pedestal, a wave of radiant energy pulsed outward, banishing the shadows that had cloaked Eldoria for so long. The land awakened, color returned in a vibrant rush, crops sprouted, flowers bloomed, and the rivers flowed once more. Laughter echoed through the villages, replacing the whispers of fear and despair. Eldoria was reborn. The people hailed Lyra as a hero, their savior, but Lyra knew the truth. Section 9. The hero's return. Humility and hope. Lyra returned to her village, Fen at her side, her heart filled with a mixture of relief and anticipation. The journey had been long and arduous, but the sight of her home brought a sense of peace she had not felt in a long time. She walked through the familiar streets, not as a conquering hero, but as a humble daughter of Eldoria. Her simple clothes and modest demeanor made her blend seamlessly with the villagers, who had always known her as one of their own. The villagers greeted her warmly, their faces lighting up with recognition and joy. Lyra smiled back, feeling a deep connection with her community. She was not above them, she was one of them, and that made her return all the more meaningful. She had faced her fears, embraced her destiny, and in doing so, had grown in ways she never imagined. The trials she had endured had shaped her into someone stronger, more resilient, and more compassionate. With Fen by her side, she had helped to restore light to her land. The once dark and desolate fields now glowed with a renewed vibrancy, a testament to the power of hope and perseverance. The experience had changed her profoundly. She was no longer just a girl with a dream, she was a young woman with a purpose. The weight of her journey had given her a new perspective on life and her place in the world. She was no longer just a girl with a dream, her vision had expanded and her determination had solidified. She now saw herself as a guardian of her people, a protector of the land she loved so dearly. She was a beacon of hope, a symbol of the indomitable spirit that resided within them all. Her presence inspired others to believe in their own strength and potential. The villagers looked up to her not just as a hero, but as a living embodiment of their collective dreams and aspirations. She had shown them that even the most daunting challenges could be overcome with courage and unity.
Welcome back, Lyra. You've done it. The cheers and applause of the villagers filled the air, a joyous celebration of her return and the hope she had rekindled in their hearts.
As Lyra looked out over the revitalized land, she felt a deep sense of fulfillment. The lush green landscape was a stark contrast to the barren wasteland it had once been. The magical glow that now enveloped the fields was a reminder of the power of hope and determination. She knew that her journey was far from over. There were still many challenges ahead, and the fight for good was never truly done. But she was ready to face whatever came next with the same courage and resolve that had brought her this far. The fight for good was never truly done. The aftermath of the battle she had fought was still fresh in her mind, but so was the calm that followed. It was a reminder that peace was always worth fighting for. But for now she allowed herself a moment of quiet satisfaction. Eldoria was safe, and that was a victory worth savoring. She took a deep breath, feeling the serenity of the moment wash over her. And that, she knew, was all that truly mattered. The safety and happiness of her village were her greatest rewards. As she looked at the peaceful village, a contented smile spread across her face. She was home, and for now, that was enough.